Hello fellow Rangers, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at something very interesting. When you say to people classic cars and stuff like that, and especially small cars, they always keep thinking of the iconic classic Mini, the Austin Mini, or the Rover Mini. But that was back. The last very classic Mini was made in 2000, the very last one. And then BMW took over the name. A lot of people say the newer Mini is nothing like or anything as fun as the old Mini. Let's see if that's true with this little car behind me. The iconic Mini. Many people think this newer variant of the Mini doesn't hold a candle to the original and the classic Mini. Yeah, regarding size, they may be right regarding the size, but the performance of this car may surprise you. From the looks, it's still got that iconic Mini look to it. From where the headlights are placed to essentially where everything is on this car. It's still got the big grille like the original classic Mini. It's got that stance of like something similar to the original Mini, but with a modern twist to it. Looking from the inside, for example, it still has that iconic big speedo in the middle of the dash, but with modern twists to it. So it's absolutely magnificent in its fairness to it. And it is very comfortable. We will do a proper inside in a moment. But you got all the modern things that you want on this car regarding heated mirrors. There's heaters that actually work in the winter. You haven't got like a one turn on and it's either on or off. It's aircon as well. Well, I honestly think, in my personal opinion, the new Mini, the R56 variant, which this is, one with the turbo, hence the sticker on the side, because a lot of people used to get this mixed up, and the reason why he's got so many stickers on this particular car is because I used to own this car, and people used to come up to me and go, "Oh, is this the supercharged variant?" And in the end I got that bored and fed up of people asking me. I bought these stickers, one for this side and one for this side, just to prove it to people that it is the turbo variant. It's not the supercharged one. It's something much more. And I'm glad in a way that my father now owns the car. He absolutely adores the car, and I can still see why he adores the car. It is such a magnificent car. Let's go in from the inside and have a better look at that. Right, we're inside the iconic Mini, the R56 Mini Cooper S. It's so, as we seen a couple of moments ago, still got the massive speedo in the center of the dashboard. The speedo there, but this car, it still feels quite small in here. But one thing that not many cars do have, unlike this Mini, You got the standard glove compartment, which is there. But this Mini is something special. If you press by here, well, look, you got a second glove compartment essentially. And then essentially put that there. And if you don't know the Mini, you will swear blind that is not a glove compartment. Another thing I like about this car, 2 cup holders here, and a big one for the back. Leather as standard on the Mini Cooper S. That's so comfortable indeed. I've driven this particular car all the way to Gaydon and back without stopping. That's the Gaydon Heritage Museum in Warwickshire, and down to Dorset Tank Museum, non-stop, and I did not get uncomfortable at all, not once. The fuel, regarding the petrol, for example, it literally only used less than a third of a tank to get to Bovington Tank Museum, and that is quite some ways from me. Right, let's see what this car is like to drive as we're in here, and it'd be rude not to give this car a go. So beyond the wheel of its iconic Mini, what's my first thoughts? Well, the gearbox is really flush, bang on the where it needs to be. The steering, even in sport mode, well, it's even more better in sport mode because it's slightly heavier. As sport mode, you got slightly heavier steering, you got stiffer suspension, all the power from the engine. You get the traction control, for example, as like an uncle, or when you're being babysitted or looked after by an uncle. He'll let you have fun, but he'll never let you go too far to the point where you're gonna hurt yourself. Fuel wise, of course, in fairness to the Mini, when it's in sport mode, it absolutely is a very economical car. I've driven this particular car all the way down to Dorset, down in Bovington, the actual tank museum down there, and I've only used less than a third of, just slightly over a third of a tank of petrol getting down there from South Wales. Well, that's in sport mode all the way, doing 70 all the way, and it done it really well. Fair play to the car. This car it wants to play. It hates sitting around doing absolutely nothing. It's not the biggest fan of regarding slow driving, being when it's in sport mode, but when it's not in sport mode, it'll... Oh, that was a nice pop from the... I don't know if my phone picked that up then, but it was a nice proper pop to that. When this car is on song, you don't want it to stop. It's literally so much fun. Oh yes, it's pushing me back in my seat. And literally all it wants to do is have fun, and sometimes that can easily get you into a lot of trouble. This car is just, this is like when you put your foot down, it's like the world's going backwards. I absolutely adore my Metro and my Dolomite. I love those two cars to bits. But regarding absolute power, it is an absolute monster of a little car. Yes, there's more powerful cars out there. Yes, there's other cars out there that can do something similar to this car. But have they got that iconic look to them, for starters? Have that iconic history of the Italian Job with Michael Caine? It's just an absolute, a legendary car, the Mini name is. Yes, sometimes it can take a little bit too serious, but at the same time, When you put your foot down in this car particularly, all it wants to do is play. And it's an absolute joy. If you've never driven a Mini, you should drive one. And as essentially, it is something very, very special. It's something that, unless you've driven this particular car, yet people say, oh, it don't drive and look as nice as the classic original Mini. One, it looks really nice in its defense, and it's for modern technology and modern safety tech. Two, if you're claiming that this car doesn't drive as well as the original Mini, have you driven one? That's the big important question. Have you driven one? Because I highly doubt it. I bet if you're fully honest with yourself and me, and you say it doesn't drive like a Mini should, then you're lying, or you had a bad Mini. Because the fact is, this car, when it's on song, all it wants to do is play, and it from third. Oh, I was just doing 25 miles an hour. He just literally just took off in third. It's just all he wants to do is play, and that exhausts. It encourages you to just play. It's one thing you got to do in life, and that's one thing necessary. You've got to drive a BMW Mini, because this car is an absolute animal, and I strongly suggest it to everyone I know to have a chance, have a go. Even if you like the car and you're considering to getting one, then by all means drive it first, because I know for a fact that it handles beautifully. But when I first drove this specific car, I put it in sport mode, because when you test drive a car, you always get told, press everything, try everything. And I put this specific car into sport mode. I had the sales rep in the passenger seat in the front, my stepfather in the back. It absolutely showed me how much of a monster it truly was, and I'm still getting used to that even to this day. And this is going on over a couple of years ago now, and it is an absolute monster of a car. Absolute monster. Right, so in conclusion, one, I'd like to say a big thank you to my dad for allowing me to use his car on his footage. And pretty much the conclusion of this video. Would I recommend anyone buy a Mini Cooper S? Answer: yes. Even though there are so many other cars out there on the market which is as good as the Mini Cooper S. But do we have that iconic history with regard to the Mini name? Do they have that iconic look to them and how it makes people feel? Well, it's just absolutely an incredible little car. Would I buy another one? Yeah, I would. And on that, I'm not even going to say bye, because the fact is, I want to drive more.